But suddenly, she received a message from her manager. When she stepped out of the office, she saw her co-worker Leon, who looked pale. He started explaining that he had been very nervous that morning, and his group had helped him calm down. However, after eating, he realized he had overeaten, which caused him to have severe stomach pain. Chai told him that he should go to the doctor, but he didn't want to ruin her work. She reassured him that wasn't the case and asked him to wait for a moment. She went to get a pin, pricked Leon's finger and started massaging his hand. Like magic, his pain began to fade. Overjoyed, he asked how she knew such remedies, and she explained that her grandmother had taught her many home remedies when she lived with her. Leon thanked her, but his nerves were still high. He was so scared of messing everything up, but Chai told him not to worry because he was going to do great. Afterwards, she excused herself to make a call to her manager, who informed her that her acting partner had been changed and now her partner was from class Don. She was surprised, and when she returned to the studio, she found Dagon, who greeted her with a smile, telling her she looked even more beautiful than before. Suddenly, Dae-ho Choi appeared as well. He was also Chai's co-worker and a friend of Jin. Everyone greeted him politely. Once everyone was gathered, the script reading began, and the directors praised Leon for doing an excellent job. Then it was Chai and Da-jon's turn. Since some lines were missing from the script, they improvised. Knowing each other for a long time made this easy for them, and the directors loved it. After that, they started a photo shoot. Leon and Chai were taking photos together when they asked Chai to take a picture with Do-ha Choi. He thought the rumors about her being easy were true, so this jerk tried to take advantage of the situation by putting his arm around her waist. Obviously, this made Chai uncomfortable. Seeing this, Leon stepped in between them and suggested taking a group photo, successfully separating Chai from the creep. Do-ha didn't like it at all. Later, Chai and Eun were together, both wearing masks. They were in the car, laughing at how they looked, as if they were in a secret relationship. Afterward, they headed to the movies. Once there, she mentioned she wanted to watch a vampire movie. Soon after, Yun came back with popcorn and tickets, and they entered the theatre together. They turned off their phones, and the movie started. Yun began sweating and suddenly grabbed Chai's hand. She was surprised to realize that Yun was scared of these types of movies. Of course, he denied it, but he couldn't hide it. Chai ended up covering his eyes for him. After the movie ended, she couldn't stop teasing him because it was hilarious that a vampire would be afraid of a vampire movie. Once they turned on their phones, they saw a news alert about a school bullying scandal. Meanwhile, Sarah wanted to send Chai a message to apologize for not telling her about her relationship with June, as she didn't know how to break the news. She felt sad and pensive because they had been like sisters since childhood, and she didn't want to ruin their friendship. Just then, she saw the news that Do-ho Choi had been accused of school bullying, and his agency was conducting an investigation. At the same time, Yun received a call from his boss who wanted to meet him urgently. They were still in the car, and seeing that Chai was worried, Yun told her that the news might not be true. She replied that she hoped so because she didn't want the situation to escalate. It could cause her a big problem. Yun dropped Chai off at her house, apologizing for leaving her like that, but she told him she had a great time and had never had so much fun, clearly because she'd been teasing him. She was about to get out of the car when suddenly he told her he'd be quick and bit her. She was shocked because she hadn't even felt anything, and he explained that the last time she had been too tense, which was why this time he bit her faster. She got out of the car and left, blushing with her heart racing. On the other hand, a little later, Yun found himself meeting with his boss. She informed him that they had offered him a role in a drama, replacing Do-ha Choi. Due to recent events, they had asked for another actor, and she had considered Yun for the part. He asked if the controversy was true, and she confirmed that it was. She explained that the agency was handling negotiations with the victim, who had already provided evidence. The affected party had also issued a public apology, and Do-ha was being removed from all his projects. That's why the agency was looking for a replacement. Yun thought about what Chai had told him, and eventually accepted the role. Later, Yun shared the news with Chai, telling her that he was going to be the lead actor in the drama and that he wanted her to be the first to know. She was thrilled, as it meant they would get to see each other more often. However, Yun then told her that for now they would need to pause their contract. With all the controversy surrounding the situation, it could negatively impact the drama's production. They agreed to wait until things calmed down before resuming the contract, and Chai reluctantly accepted. The day of the first shoot arrived, and Chai's headache started up again. When Leon saw her, he wanted to talk to her, but she disappeared. It turned out she was with Yun, who was giving her some medicine. Meanwhile, Leon heard a noise in the meeting room and, curious, went to check it out. Just then, someone called him to get ready for the filming, which caused him to backtrack and separate from Chai. As they parted ways, Yoon saw Chai and Leon together, which made him feel jealous. He approached them and Leon greeted him, saying it was a pleasure to meet him. After the formal introductions, Mr. Hanang interrupted them, asking Yoon to help Leon, who was his biggest fan. Leon then added that Yoon wasn't just his fan but also his role model. Yoon thanked him, and a few minutes later the filming began. Chai and Leon got along wonderfully during the shoot, which only made Yoon more irritated. He watched them so intently that he didn't notice Daejeon, Chai's co-star, approaching him. She told Yoon she was happy to work with him again, but he gave her a distant response, saying he felt the same. In reality, he wasn't paying her any attention. His focus was entirely on Chai, which annoyed Daejeon. After they wrapped up the shoot, Leon and Chai congratulated each other on the great job they had done. Someone commented to Leon that although he said Yoon was his role model, it seemed like he was more focused on Chai. Leon responded with a smile, admitting that Chai was also his first love. For a moment, everyone around them was shocked. But suddenly they told him not to say those things because it could be misinterpreted. They explained that Chai was a sweet girl actress and that many boys had fallen in love with her. With a smile, Yoon agreed, which left Leon thinking. After a while, they were practicing their lines together, and they began to smile more. Later, Yoon and Chai were reviewing the script, but Chai suddenly noticed that Minji had a kitten sticker on her phone, and she got really excited. Minji told her it was her kitten, Roru, and Chai couldn't wait to see more pictures. As they looked through the photos, they smiled so much that Chai completely forgot she was with Yoon. Poor Yoon was ignored because of a cat. A little later, Daejeon was talking to Minji, telling her that she initially thought Chai was arrogant, but had realized after getting to know her that she had a good side. She also mentioned what had happened with the pictures of the kitten. Daejeon told Minji that Chai wasn't usually like that. The two of them hadn't been close, even though they had shared high school together. Daejeon had always noticed that Chai wasn't very kind to other girls. This conversation was overheard by Mion Kim, the scriptwriter for the drama. Later, Yoon was meeting with his boss, where he explained the situation regarding his contract with Chai. She was excited, knowing that this could lead to a real relationship, as she knew Yoon liked Chai. However, she suggested he wait for now, as there were many complications at the moment. Later that night, Yoon fell asleep at home and had a dream where Chai left with Leon, because, according to her, Leon was as sweet as the kitten. The next day, Chai was on set when she overheard two girls talking about how Yoon had come to the set to resolve some pending issues. She was about to message him when suddenly he appeared in front of her, dressed entirely in pink, asking how he looked. She smiled and told him he looked handsome. But that wasn't what he wanted to hear. He wanted to hear that he looked cute. Later, Yoon was in his car, checking himself in the mirror. Wondering if he looked cute, he realized his driver was watching him, which made him feel embarrassed. His manager told him that the drama from scriptwriter Galleon was soon to premiere, and the leads were Jun Kan and Ha Jinna, with Yoon being more famous than they were. However, Chai was weak in front of Yoon, which left Yoon thinking. The next day on set, Yoon and Chai finished filming their scene. As Chai jumped to hug him, her heart beat faster. She whispered, wondering if vampires' hearts beat that fast. Just then, Leon appeared, calling out, "Nuna!" congratulating her on her performance. His closeness made Yoon feel sad, wondering how they had gotten so close. Leon asked Chai if she drank, and memories of Yoon flashed in her mind. Blushing, she said she didn't drink much, only sometimes. Later, Yoon went to Chai's house. They sat down to talk about what had happened on set with Leon. Chai mentioned that she wished her brother were as sweet as Leon. Yoon, surprised by her comment, blushed. Chai, smiling, said that she felt closer to him now, as they were allies. Thanks to him, she could now connect with more people, as she had previously kept her distance from everyone. Her only friends were Sarah and Jun, and she realized how isolated she had been. Suddenly, Yun stroked her hair, which made her nervous. Chai then asked if he wanted something to drink, but as she tried to get up, she slipped and fell on top of him. As she heard the fast-paced heartbeat of a vampire, she thought it was normal, but when she got up, she realized Yun was as red as a tomato. How could he not be, when he was deeply in love with her, and every time he got close it made him nervous? In the midst of this, Yun stood up and, without giving her a chance to react, jumped on her, looking into her eyes, and suddenly bit her. Afterward, he told her that now that they were together, he could bite her. She, slightly annoyed, told him not to do that again without warning her. He nodded, but made her promise she wouldn't get mad again. Once she calmed down, Chai said that sudden bites weren't good for her because they made her heart race too much, but then she asked if his blood was rich. Yun answered yes, and that every time he tasted her blood he wanted more. Chai asked about other people's blood, and Yun replied that each person's blood was different. Chai didn't know what to say, but Yun assured her not to worry because he wouldn't bite anyone except her. A little later, Chai asked him to turn on the TV. While Yun was looking for the remote, he found a photo of Chai and her grandmother. Seeing this made him sad, and he told Chai that he had to leave to take care of something important but would call her later. He left, leaving Chai surprised. Meanwhile, Yun was driving, thinking about how he had always wanted to distance himself from her, but couldn't, which is why he was always around. He feared getting closer to her because he knew he wanted a special relationship, and each time he felt more jealous of everything, making him think that he didn't deserve her. He felt guilty, as he hadn't been there for her when she needed him most. The next day, Chai's phone alarm went off, and she answered thinking it was Yun. She was busy because he hadn't called her. She decided to send him a message to ask if he had gotten home safely. His response was distant, just a simple yes, saying they would meet at the set later. Later, Chai was surprised by Minji's behavior. Then, Leon arrived, and Minji asked why he treated her with so much formality, while Chai didn't get the same treatment. Leon replied that Chai was like his sister, and Minji was his elder. Minji, not wanting to feel like an old lady, asked if they could start calling her Nuna, just like Chai. Shortly after, on set, Leon was trying to take a picture, but it wasn't coming out right. Chai, who had noticed, offered to take the photo for him, and he happily agreed. At that moment, a bunch of messages flooded Leon's phone from a fan group on a paid app. He asked if Chai was interested and if she wanted him to show her how it worked. She agreed, and they started exploring the app together. Yun, who happened to be passing by, saw them and felt really sad, so he walked away. Chai, noticing his departure, felt guilty, thinking that her closeness to Leon had pushed Yun away. That night, while lying in bed, Chai received a message from Leon asking if she had eaten. She was excited, feeling like this was a real conversation. She decided to explore more of the app and, to her surprise, got a message from Leon without a shirt on, saying he was going to bed and wished her good night. She was taken aback, blushing, especially when she saw messages from his fans, who were supposedly grandmothers. It made Chai laugh. Later that night, while chatting with Leon in bed, she asked him why he was so popular with grandmothers. He laughed and said they weren't grandmothers but teenagers pretending to be. Then he asked if she had plans for the next day. She replied that she would be rehearsing lines, but Leon suggested they practice together and that he would teach her more about the Fangirl app. The next day, they went out to eat and practice lines in the car, while also enjoying the city. Chai thanked him for taking her to such beautiful places and for teaching her more about the fan app. He continued to show her more, and at one point he put on bunny ears and made a cute expression. Chai blushed but followed his lead. Suddenly, Leon asked her when she first started liking him. Chai was curious, and Leon told her that it happened in high school, and his feelings for her had only grown stronger since then. He remembered how she had helped him when he was lost, looking for a recording studio. Chai recalled everything and asked if he had passed the audition. Leon replied that he hadn't, but that things had turned out better than expected. Since then he had liked her, but he didn't know how to confess because he was overwhelmed with his feelings. He apologized for making her uncomfortable, and Chai, nervous, reassured him that it was fine. She thanked him for noticing her, but told him that she liked someone else. Leon was taken aback by this and understood, but he lowered his head, unable to look at her. Chai told him that for her, he was a great friend, and she was grateful to have met him. He asked her not to act distant, and she sweetly reassured him that she wouldn't. Later, Chai lay in bed deep in thought, questioning why Leon liked her and why he kept appearing in her thoughts. Yun also crossed her mind, and she realized her feelings for him were different now. She enjoyed being with him, and her heart raced whenever he was near. She fell asleep, dreaming of giving Yun a huge kiss. The next day, at the recording set, Chai was hiding from Yoon, feeling like she had to keep her distance. Just then, Minji approached and asked if Chai wanted to attend the housewarming party and watch the first episode of the drama together. Chai was excited, but just as Leon arrived, she said yes, thinking that the more, the better. Meanwhile, Yoon was on the phone when he overheard Minji asking Leon if something had happened between him and Chai when they were alone. Nervously, Leon denied it, saying he didn't know what she was talking about. But Chai wasn't easily fooled. She had already realized how Yoon felt about her. She asked him to tell her what happened before she invited him to the party. He told her that he had confessed his feelings to Chai. Hearing this was like a bucket of cold water for Minji, who was shocked and asked when it had happened and what Chai had said. Yoon explained that Chai told him she liked someone else. Minji thought it was probably Jun, but Yoon insisted that he was the one she liked. He sweetly and gently asked if he could still attend the party, and Minji agreed, but only because Chai was fine with it. Later, Jun was in his car reading the script when someone knocked on the window. Surprise, it was Chai. Both of them sat awkwardly in the car. She had come to ask for his help, and he was about to bite her, but she stopped him and asked him to bite her arm instead. He agreed and did it, and she felt her heart racing as she remembered her dream, blushing. She thanked him and was about to leave when he stopped her. In the end, he didn't know what to say, which upset Chai since he had been distancing himself from her. She looked at him sadly. She told him that, for now, only she would benefit from their contract, but he could always ask for her help whenever he needed it, and she would do whatever she could to assist him. He smiled and accepted her offer. As they left, they saw a poster with a promotion for his drama. Seeing this, Yoon called Sidi, asking when it had been planned. She told him that she just wanted to congratulate him. Chai thanked her, and Sidi asked if she could visit her on set. Of course, Chai said yes. Later on set, Seri saw her friend so happy with Minji and she felt down, thinking about leaving when Daeon saw her and approached. She asked why Seri had sent that gift to Chai. Seri said that it must have been from the agency and maybe soon they would send one to her too. She said goodbye, but Daeon was upset when she saw the poster featuring Chai. She was plotting something. Chai was on her way back to the set when she heard a commotion in the dressing rooms. Concerned, she went to check and found Hichi holding a dress that was stained with coffee. It was the one provided by the sponsor. Jijian, who was in charge of the costumes, felt embarrassed and was about to leave when the representative of Chai's agency noticed what was going on. Chai insisted she would pay for the dress, but the most logical thing would be for the person who caused the damage to take responsibility. Unfortunately, Jijun didn't know who had done it. Later, Chai was in the bathroom looking up how much the dress cost. It was an eye-watering $5,000. She started thinking about how she would manage to pay that amount when her personal expenses and her mum's were barely covered. She considered paying in installments. Suddenly, she overheard someone talking about Yoon, who never accepted clothing sponsorships but was now wearing a brand new outfit. This was great for the brand since everything Yoon wore sold out instantly. As she left the bathroom, Chai noticed a worker walking distractedly and accidentally bumped into her. Without hesitation, Chai rushed to help her. When she noticed the worker had hurt her hand, Chai took her to the dressing rooms to take care of her. Shortly after, she was told that the new dress was ready and she wouldn't need to pay for it, she just needed to wear it. They asked her if the dress was expensive, but Chai nervously avoided answering. She had gotten lucky. Later, Chai walked out of the dressing room, looking beautiful in the dress, only to spot Yun wearing an outfit from the same brand. She was shocked at how well it fit him. They both met face to face, and Chai complimented him. With a sweet smile, Yun thanked her, but he quickly returned the compliment, telling her she looked beautiful too. Chai was left confused, with her heart racing. Just then, Leon appeared, all excited to greet her, but she was so focused on Yun that she barely noticed him. This surprised Leon a lot, and he realized who Chai had feelings for. Meanwhile, the girl Chai had helped earlier told her boss that she knew who had damaged the dress. She claimed it was Daeon, and she had seen it happen. The boss explained that the accusation was serious and it would be better to forget about it, since there was no proof. Meanwhile, on set, Chai was glowing in that dress, and of course this infuriated Daeon. She started remembering how she met Chai. They attended the same school and were in the same class. Daeon thought Chai would be the only friend Seri would have since they were both famous, or so she thought, but one day, while walking down the school hallway, they ran into Chai, and Seri introduced her as her only and best friend. This surprised Daeon, but the other friends of Seri started gossiping, saying that Chai had been absent from classes because she was sick from working too much. Since she had to support her family, she had no choice. This left Daeon thoughtful, especially when Seri's mum came to pick them up to take them home. But Chai didn't go because she had to work. Daeon thought that this couldn't possibly be friendship. What Seri felt for Chai was pity, and that was why Chai ruined the dress, to put her in the place she thought Chai deserved. Later, Chai, Leon and Minji were discussing the party and the time they should head to Minji's apartment. Out of nowhere, they saw Yun asking if he could join. He was uncomfortable and told them he couldn't because he had a prior commitment. He just wanted to stay away from Chai for his own good. He only wanted to help her and nothing more. On the day of the gathering, Chai, Leon and Minji arrived at Minji's house. They thanked her for the invitation and gave her their gifts. Just then, the little cat Ruru appeared. Chai was so excited to see her and started holding her. Ruru was happy in Chai's hands. Soon after, the three of them were enjoying coffee together, but then they mentioned how worried they were because the drama June was acting in was going to air at the same time. According to surveys, more people were anticipating that drama over theirs. Chai told them that no matter the outcome, they had to do their best until the very end. Then Minji told Chai that Sari had only sent that gift to her, and not even her boyfriend understood that for Sari to do that, she must care a lot about Chai. They even thought that when they had time, the four of them should do something together. Meanwhile, Yun was at home, feeling lonely and regretting not going. He got a call from Jijeon, whose wild friend, who asked where he was. Without thinking, Yun told him he was at home, so Jijeon discovered he had been lying. Jisun told him he was heading to Minji's house and insisted that Yun join him once he finished his commitments. Yun asked if he knew Minji, and Jisun replied that they went to the same school. Jisun kept pushing him to join him, and Yun finally came up with a solution, telling him that if the drama succeeded, they would celebrate by drinking. If it didn't, they would drink anyway, since Yun knew exactly how Jisun operated. He would bite anyone who crossed his path.